What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Anthony KT Wrestling. Welcome. Well, you're probably wondering why. Why am I wearing this John Cena t-shirt? Well, there would be many reasons why I would be wearing a John Cena t-shirt, but for this particular reason, there's only one reason. And I'm going to tell you by us just jumping right in. So, John Cena. John Cena first signed with WWE in 2001, where he went into the developmental system. At the time, in 2001, the developmental system was known as OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling. That was where their development system was. People like John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Shelton Benjamin came out of that developmental system before entering into the main roster. Long before Florida Championship Wrestling and long before NXT. Anyway, so that was where John Cena got his start, was in O Valley Championship Wrestling in 2001 when he signed to WWE in their developmental deal. And at the time, he was known as the Prototype. And as the Prototype, he won their World Heavyweight Championship, and he also won a Southern Tag Team Championship. And then the following year, John Cena, not as the Prototype, just as John Cena, made his debut on the main roster during one of Kurt Angle's open challenge matches. John Cena comes out. He's wearing he's wearing the short tights. He comes out. Kurt Angle says, what makes you think that you could beat the very best? He looks right into Kurt Angle, John Cena, and with anger, he goes, ruthless aggression. And at that time, it was known as the ruthless aggression era. And as I like to deem that debut as the ruthless aggression debut for John Cena because of using that tagline, the name of that particular era, ruthless aggression. Anyway, John Cena has a really good match against Kurt Angle. First time out in the main roster against Kurt Angle. It was a hell of a match. He lost that match. He came pretty close. I mean, he even went like this to Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle's like, what? But you get into the back room, and you think, in this moment for John Cena, even though he lost the match against Kurt Angle, he still put on a hell of a show. He still hung in there, went toe-to-toe with one of the best, and hung in there. And you think, when this moment happened between John Cena and Undertaker backstage, and at the time, Undertaker was the WWE champion. And at that end, Undertaker walks up to John Cena and gives him a handshake and says, good job out there. You think with the handshake from the Undertaker, given not only who the Undertaker was in front of the cameras, into the ring, and to the fans, but who the Undertaker was backstage. He was really known as one of the locker room leaders, you know. And you think by that, he's in. He's a made man. But he wasn't. John Cena, throughout that year in 2022, after he made his debut, John Cena would come out to the ring. He would have matches, always have a different pair color short tights on, but he wasn't breaking through to the fans. He wasn't really breaking through to the people backstage. And during towards the end of the year is usually when they get close to making cuts and they start releasing people. And John Cena was on that list to be released. However, a moment where John Cena starts freestyling, rapping freestyling backstage with some of the people, and even on the bus. It was on the bus. I believe it was on the bus. It was during their European tour, and John Cena's rapping freestyle. And Stephanie McMahon hears John Cena and suggests that John Cena should do that for the cameras. And he does it. He takes that advice, he tries doing it, and it breaks through. And in that moment, moving forward, John Cena becomes known as the doctor of thugonomics. This is basic thugonomics type stuff. You know, he comes out with new music, comes out wearing street clothes. You know, he's got the jorts. He's got different kind of jerseys on. Got the theme music. So you want to be untouchable, right? Word life. This is basic thugonomics. That type of stuff. You know, comes out always freestyling. He was feeling it. Being the doctor of thugonomics got him the United States Championship, where he won it in a match on WrestleMania against the Big Show. It was the first match at that year's WrestleMania, and he won the United States Championship. He wins the United States Championship, and then he changes the look of the United States Championship, makes it a spinner championship, and I gotta tell you, belt was tight. All right. It was dope, all right? Everyone wanted that championship. That championship was dope. So, John Cena goes in to that, he changing his look, and incredible, right? John Cena, basic thugonomics. I would even dare say, the basic, during that whole that time when John Cena was known as the Doctor of Thugonomics, before people were starting to cheer him as the Doctor of Thugonomics, he was still booed. I would dare say that would be the only time John Cena ever really went heel in front of the cameras, was during that first couple months, first year as John Cena, Dr. Thugonomics. I would say that would be when he really went heel, during that time. And then we get to 2005, and John Cena at WrestleMania beats JBL, sorry, beats JBL, Bradshaw Layfield, there we go, beats him for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. It was the WrestleMania where it was, I forgot. It was WrestleMania goes Hollywood. I think it was WrestleMania 20. I want to say WrestleMania 20. I'm not quite sure. I believe it is, but anyway, so John Cena, 2005, wins the WWE Championship, and from 2005, after winning the WWE Championship, going in from 2005 to 2010, John Cena becomes and is known as a top franchise player, becoming a main event player, taking on top contenders, top main eventers. Like we got like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Randy Orton, Edge, Batista, Chris Jericho. You know, the list goes on. All right. So from 2005 to 2010, he's a main event player. He's a franchise player. He's having top tier matches, all different types of matches, and doing it right. We all remember the infamous Elimination Chamber match that John Cena was defending his WWE Championship in. Gets through the entire match only to have Edge at the end of the match cash in his Money in the Bank on him, and having Edge win his first WWE Championship, and then them turning that around, having one hell of a ladder match. The following PLE for John Cena to go back and win that championship match. But the feud between Edge and Cena was one of my favorite. Personally, was one of my favorite rivalries during that point of time. So then we get into 2010 and the 2013, and during that time, Cena is having memorable feuds with the likes of the Nexus. Now, we're gonna go a side note on this about the Nexus real quick. For those who don't know who the Nexus was, the Nexus was a group, a faction that got started during the first season that it was known as of NXT. Now, at the time, NXT, before it became what we all know it to be today, before we all started chanting, "We are NXT," NXT was really a reality TV show where talent that got signed and got developmental deals went on this reality TV show, NXT, that was on Tuesday nights on was on Sci-Fi, and I think it was on Sci-Fi. No, No, I think it was also on USA Network too. I think so. Anyway, so um there would be pros and the rookies, and the pros would all be like a main event, sometimes main event, mostly, but the pros were mostly signed main roster talent. And you had like the Miz, and you had Chris Jericho was one of them. Anyway, so you get through the end of that first season of NXT, and Wade Barrett wins the first season of NXT, and then he makes his debut. Now, when he makes his debut, he makes it on John Cena, and he gets into the ring. When he gets into the ring, other talent from that first season of NXT shows up. And this is all talent that got eliminated from the show. You had to get through a certain point. If you didn't, then you would get eliminated from the show. They all but Wade Barrett got eliminated from the show, but they stuck around, and they formed this group of NXT in that first night. When Wade Barrett made his debut, they tore the ring up. I mean, Daniel Bryant had Justin Roberts, who was the ring announcer for WWE at the time. He had him in a submission using his tie. I mean, it was brutal. That match was not. It wasn't even. It was just straight up brutal. They left John Cena in the middle of a dismantled ring. Okay. So that was his first feud. John Cena's first feud was really with the Nexus, not with Wade Barrett and all of them. Insane. He also had feuds with CM Punk, with Brock Lesnar, and The Rock. Now, here's one thing with CM Punk versus John Cena. That was one of those rivalries that I really loved, and it was really towards the end, right before it was getting towards the end of CM Punk really walking out on WWE. Towards the end of those final years of CM Punk in his first run with WWE, before he eventually came back almost about a little over a decade later. Actually, a decade later. Yeah, a little over a decade later. Anyway, so the match that I think of when it comes to John Cena and CM Punk, and they had a lot of great matches. They even had there was even a random qualifying match on a Monday Night Raw, which was great. They always had really good matches together. But the one in particular that I'm talking about is Money in the Bank, where it was John Cena versus CM Punk. Now, CM Punk was set to leave WWE. And the whole purpose of it was for CM Punk to leave WWE with the WWE Championship. He was going to leave with the WWE Championship. You get into that match, and great match they're putting on. Vince McMahon comes out ready to do to CM Punk what he did to Bret Hart during Montreal at a Survivor Series. John Cena stops that, puts a stop to that, gets back in the ring. CM Punk hits him with the go to sleep. CM Punk wins the WWE Championship, walks out of WWE with the WWE Championship. Everybody remembers the picture that he posted on Twitter with the WWE Championship in his refrigerator, which was pretty dope, right? Eventually, CM Punk comes back, and all is good. Brock Lesnar was another memorable rivalry that those two had, where Brock Lesnar is coming back, this monster from MMA, having a successful MMA career, coming back to WWE and just dominating. And the way he dominated Cena several times that they had their matches was great, right? And just the way he pulled that off. But the other memorable rivalry that we all remember during that particular era of 2000, that particular time between 2010 and 2013 is The Rock. The Rock is one of those memorable matches they had, those back-to-back matches. Something that I'm pausing because I'm trying to put in the right words, but honestly, it was really just two different generations when you think of it. It's really like looking at like what Rock and Hogan was. You know, you're looking at like two different eras going face to face with each other. You know, icon versus icon. It's the same thing with Cena versus The Rock. You're looking at two different generations going at each other, going going toe to toe, almost icon versus icon. Another one of those great back-to-back WrestleMania matches. The first one was a non-title match, and then the second one was for the WWE Championship. And the way those two go back and forth between those two WrestleManias, they live in their own worlds with those two matches. Those Edge type city matches. Can't get enough of it. And then we're going into SummerSlam of 2013, and in this match, this is that match where it was Daniel Bryan versus John Cena for the WWE Championship, with the special guest referee being Triple H. And at that time, the Authority is really running things in WWE, right? And the Authority was kind of like an update. It was really an updated version to the ministry, the Ministry of Dark, not the Ministry, not the Ministry of Darkness, but the faction. I am sorry that I am blanking on it. I should know it. It's like right there. I just can't think of it. But it was the same kind of the same faction group that Vince McMahon had. Well, Mr. McMahon had when he was going after guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin during that whole Attitude Era. I can't think of it. I swear it's gonna drive me crazy. I kid you not. After this, I finish doing this, it's gonna be in there. I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'm gonna leave it in the comments what it was. I kid you not. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. So in that special guest referee match, Triple H with the special guest referee, it was John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. One hell of a match. John Cena ends up getting hurt in that match. But Daniel Bryan wins that WWE Championship. And it's a great moment. And it's a moment that should have stayed, right? They should have kept it just like that. Daniel Bryan winning the WWE Championship in a fantastic, no interruption, clean match between Daniel Bryan and John Cena. But of course, they're not going to play like that. What happens? Randy Orton comes out with his Money in the Bank contract. Before Randy Orton even comes to the ring, Triple H hits the pedigree on Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton comes to the ring, pins Daniel Bryan. There you go. New WWE Championship. Like that. Just like that. And as for John Cena had an injury that tore his triceps. And so he was out, right? He was out for about 4 to 6 months. So when John Cena finally comes back, he comes back in October to face Alberto Del Rio, who was the world heavyweight champion. And it was at a match at Hell in a Cell, and he defeats Alberto Del Rio, becomes the world heavyweight championship. And then from there, we go into a match where it's going to be Randy Orton versus John Cena to unify both the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship to become the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Randy Orton wins that match. It's a ladder match. Randy Orton ends up winning that match. But from there, John Cena goes into a campaign where he takes on the Wyatt family. Now this starts to happen after John Cena's rematch with Randy Orton, where Bray Wyatt inserts himself into that match, causing John Cena to lose against Randy Orton. And then it happens again when John Cena sees a third and final opportunity to go for that championship against Randy Orton in Elimination Chamber. But once again, Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, they make sure John Cena does not win that opportunity, costing him the match, which then leads into John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, which at WrestleMania. And it wouldn't be the last time we would see a John Cena versus Bray Wyatt match. Granted, it'd be a while before we see it again, but we go into that match, and Cena would end up defeating Bray Wyatt. And it was really a match a lot of people were hoping that it's that one match people wanted to see Bray Wyatt win that match, because it was the whole Wyatt family thing, and wanting to see and seeing how high up Bray Wyatt was climbing as with his Wyatt family, and the whole follow the buzzards and the Fireflies and all that. And it was a really special time to watch all that with Bray Wyatt and watch the evolution of Bray Wyatt. But that would be it for that would be the last time. But like I said, that would be the last time Bray Wyatt and John Cena would face each other again at a WrestleMania for a while. Then we get into 2005. We get into from 2005 to 2006. This is the era where John Cena is really focused not on the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight or the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's not where he's focused on that. This is where he starts turning his attention to the United States Championship, winning defeating Rusev to win the WWE United States Championship. And then having his open challenge, and some of the open challenge United States Championship matches that he were some great matches that he had on Raw. And he had matches with people like Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley. He had it with Stardust, who we all know as Cody Rhodes. He had it with Bad News Barrett, Kane, Sami Zayn, Neville, now known as Pac. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, also back to being known as Matt Cardona, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens. Now, one thing about the Sami Zayn match, Sami Zayn actually pulled his arm, hurt his arm before the match even started when he was going like this. What that match was, it was in Canada. Bret Hart comes out, gets in the ring with John Cena, tells John Cena, this is who you're going to face. Sami Zayn is making his main roster debut on Raw against John Cena in United States Championship match. Really quick, also what I would love to say about those open challenge United States Championship matches where you never know who it could be. Could have been someone from Raw, could have been someone from SmackDown, could have been someone from NXT. And for the most part, we were always hoping to see someone from NXT. It was a great opportunity to see someone from NXT come and take that open challenge, which was great. It was always great to see who it was going to be. Those John Cena open challenge matches were amazing. Anyway, getting back to that moment with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is so hyped to be there, right? He's about to face John Cena with the United States Championship on the line. He's jacked up. He is hyped. Doing this, he's like this, hurts the arm. And he goes through the match from start to finish. He goes through that entire match hurt. Coming close a few times. Now, the other memorable moment was with Kevin Owens. When Kevin Owens shows up on Raw and shows up with the NXT Championship. Power bombs John Cena in the middle of the ring, drops the United States Championship, steps on it, right? Holds the NXT Championship, and that leads into a match between him and Kevin Owens. I believe it was at Battleground, where it was Kevin Owens versus John Cena. No title was on the line. It was really just looked at as a champion versus championship match. Kevin Owens wins clean. No help, no assistance, none of that, no interruptions at all, in a one-on-one match. In the squared circle, Kevin Owens beats John Cena in a clean match. And that really sets up Kevin Owens for what turns into one hell of a main roster career in WWE. All I'm going to say about that. John Cena's reign as the United States Championship comes against Seth Rollins in a champion versus champion match. If John Cena had beat Seth Rollins, he would have won the WWE Championship. If Seth Rollins won, which he would have. He would have won the United States Championship. Either way, one person was leaving with both championships. At 147 days as the United States Championship, as the United States Champion, John Cena loses to Seth Rollins because of Daily Show host, one and only, Jon Stewart. Now, Jon Stewart said he didn't do it to help Seth Rollins. He did it because he was trying to protect the 16-time world champion Ric Flair's hold on the number of times, on the number of world championships. Jon Stewart didn't want to see anybody reaching that height. But in doing that, all he did was just help Seth Rollins win. And he apologized to John Cena for what he did, for doing what he did. Really spur the moment type thing. But Jon Stewart really messed things up with that. But all is fair in love and pro wrestling, right? Moving forward. In 2016 to 2017, John Cena's feud goes on books with AJ Styles as one of the best rivalries and some of the best matches they had. I mean, incredible. We get to January 29th of 2017. John Cena defeats AJ Styles, who at the time was the WWE champion. The WWE champion defeats AJ Styles to become the 16-time world champion, tying Ric Flair's record. Now, there are only two people within the history of WWE who hold that 16-time record. That is Ric Flair and that is John Cena. That is not bad company to be a part of for John Cena, to be in there tied with one of the greatest of all time, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. Woo! 2017 to 2019, this was really known as John Cena's last full few year run in WWE, and he does it as a free agent, where he's able to jump from Raw to SmackDown and have having matches and feuds with different opponents from different rosters, from different rosters on different brands. We get to 2019, and John Cena goes from full-time to part-time. And he does that because his projects outside of WWE, his acting career really is starting to pick up. You know, the first movie we see him in is The Marine. The second movie was 12 Rounds, and it kind of goes, it's kind of slowly goes from there and so on, and picks up until it gets really busy. Till it gets so busy that he starts to have a better understanding of The Rock and how The Rock says he loves being here. Rock loves WWE, but the projects that Rock was doing outside of WWE and acting in Hollywood really started to pick up, and it became too much for The Rock to try to do both. So The Rock stepped away from WWE to do that. But in a way, for The Rock to have the successful acting career that he did really helps WWE, because you see someone from someone who was a pro wrestler, someone from WWE making it as big as someone like The Rock does, really helped WWE, and you could even say could put more eyes on the company. Same thing for John Cena. Once things got too big for John Cena, as far as the projects that he was doing for Hollywood, he had to step away from doing the thing that he loves to do the other thing that he also loves, which is acting, and being able to reach more people that way, and being able to put more eyes on WWE by looking at someone also like John Cena from WWE, like The Rock, having a successful acting career. Amazing. I would say the same thing about Batista. I would also say the same thing about Batista. Batista stepped away from WWE so he could be an actor. And look at him. He's having a successful acting career. He's really, really picking these big roles. I would dare say Batista is doing the kind of roles that you wouldn't see The Rock or John Cena do. Which is, I like that. I like the roles that Batista picked. Granted, I might not like all the movies that Batista does, but some of the movies that he does pick, these are one. Some of them are great. Anyway, back to John Cena, part-timer. John Cena goes part-time, and between 2017 and 2019, he goes part-time. We get to 2020, right? And John Cena has has a memorable match with Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, at WrestleMania. Now, in 2020, we're in COVID, right? We're all locked in. We're stuck in the house. Maybe not stuck in the house. You know, we may go for a drive every once in a while. We may step outside and get some air, go for a walk, but we're wearing the mask, right? Either way, it's on lockdown. And there are no fans in the crowd for that year's WrestleMania. And that really gave an opportunity to really stretch the creative legs of Bray Wyatt and put on what was a very phenomenal cinematic match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt, and really step into the mind of Bray Wyatt and have John Cena go through the Firefly Funhouse and then take Cena, and then also take Cena through the history of WWE, having John Cena wear an NWO t-shirt, acting like he's part of the NWO, taking John Cena back to when he first debuted with against Kurt Angle, having him dress up like he was back in the day as the Doctor of Thugonomics. And all of this stuff leads into the moment where he faces the Fiend, right? And he ends up losing to the Fiend. And then, like, after the Fiend beats him, John Cena just kind of disappears. And then that's kind of it. And that really is kind of it. We don't see John Cena for a while. After that, we really don't see John Cena again. After that, we don't really see John Cena again for a while. And we get to WrestleMania 37 and the fans are back. Everyone is excited, but not John Cena, right? It's the first time in 20 years that John Cena misses a WrestleMania. John Cena comes back and has a match against Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39 and loses to Austin Theory. It was the first match going into WrestleMania, and he loses that match. And the moment, and from 2019 to 2024, the rare times that we would see John Cena, for the most part, he would have more losses than wins, and those losses really were just to really push some of the talent that he was going up against, and he was okay with that. So now we get to we're now getting into 2024. We get to 2024 this year at Money in the Bank. John Cena walks out in the middle of the ring with this shirt on and tells everybody that in 2025 will be his final run as an in-ring competitor in WWE, because he is retiring at the end of 2025. So it'll be the last time we see him at a Royal Rumble. It's the last time we'll see him at a Elimination Chamber, a SummerSlam, a Survivor Series. Every PLE that he is going to try to be a part of will be his last time on there. We're going to see him plenty of times on Raw, especially when Raw goes to Netflix. We will see him. January 6th, 2025 begins the retirement tour of John Cena. And it will begin at that first episode of Monday Night Raw when it goes live on Netflix. So that brings us to the man, John Cena. And I will say right now, it's 2024. His retirement tour has yet to begin. But I will say John Cena was someone that came out of nowhere and at the right time blew our socks off. He he really took the Cena. There were people in the crowd during that time who had the black t-shirts on that would say Cena sucks, right? And he ate every second of it. He loved every second of it. John Cena was that guy that you either loved or hated to boo, right? You either loved to cheer him or you either loved to cheer him or you loved to boo him. Either way, you were giving him. Either way, he was getting a response, and He did a lot of things in and for WWE that are timeless, that will live for life. And I am excited for 2025, for this last full run of John Cena. I'm excited for the matches he will face, who he's going to face, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious who will be John Cena's last opponent, last match. We can't know that until we get to this time next year. But for now, I am going to enjoy, and when we get to January 6th of 2025, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy the retirement tour ride of John Cena. Now, I appreciate all of you for joining me for this week's episode of Anthony KT Wrestling, as I talked about the pro wrestler John Cena, the history of his time in WWE. His history is not done yet. He's still got one more year, but from 2001 to 2024, I wanted to just talk about it. And I'm glad I got to talk about it with all of you. You guys are beautiful. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching to this week's episode of Anthony KT Wrestling. Now, I hope all of you have a great day, and I will see you all next week for another great episode of Anthony KT Wrestling. So, in the meantime, in between time, peace, y'all.